Good day to each and every one of you, especially to our research advisor and dear panelists. I'm Mr. Joshua Ilagan, the leader of the research team. We will be presenting a research study entitled Sealing Board made of rice and gypsum powder, together with my team, Mr. Gerald Barajas, Ms. Jobel Gonzalez, Ms. Rowella Gutierrez, Ms. Heidi Maniego, Mr. Andrew William Miralles, and Ms. Jenicel Quirong. We're the Group 5, and the flow of our video presentation shall be Chapter 1. First, by presenting the research introduction, followed by conceptual framework, statement of the problem, hypothesis of the study, scope and delimitation. Chapter 2, we have methodology, followed by research design, research local, respondents of the study, sample and sampling technique, instrumentation, data gathering procedure, and statistical treatment of data. We also include the survey questionnaire. Now, let us talk in detail. And here's Ms. Maniego for a research introduction.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ilagan. So here is for the introduction. Each year, hundreds of millions of tons of rice hulls or rice hulls are produced. Irrigated rice cultivation is one of the most important agricultural operations for the feeding the world's population. Rice hull ash production is equivalent to silica mineral extraction from the earth as a raw material for a variety of goods. Reusing rice waste such as husk and straw is also a problem that has yet to be overcome. Rice hull has been used as an insulating material for cold storage in China for many years, and it is readily available in the United States because of the increased amounts of silica in the rice hull. Disposal is a difficulty in many locations after it has been burned. Burning-induced contractures cause significant deformity and are extremely difficult to treat. Philippines has an abundance of biomass resources which can be used for a variety of purposes. Rice hulls and municipal solid garbage have a lot of potential for energy generation. A ton of rice hull is equivalent to 318 liters of fuel. In Davao del Sur and other parts of Mindanao, some farmers use rice hulls as a bedding of litter for poultry operations. Rice hull ash can be used as a soil amendment as an additive in cement and steel. The high silica content of rice hull ash makes it a good additive for concrete and even in steel industries. An integrated project was carried out to evaluate technology readiness, funding, and capacity.
Conceptual framework. The conceptual framework of the study is composed of 3 frames, which is the input, process, and the last is output. The input describes the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of age, gender, and educational attainment, and the level of acceptability of sealing board made of rice hull and gypsum powder as perceived by the respondents in terms of affordability, durability, and safety. And also the significant in the level of acceptability of sealing board made of rice hull and gypsum powder in terms of affordability, durability, and safety as perceived by the respondents when their demographic profile is considered. The second frame is the process, which contains the preparation of the materials, mixing process, curing, testing, gathering the data, analyze the data, and the last is interpretation of the result. The third frame, which is the output, shows the proposed product of the researcher, which is the sealing board made of rice hull and gypsum powder.
Statement of the problem. The purpose of the study is to determine the level of acceptability of sealing board made of rice hull and gypsum powder as perceived by the respondents in terms of affordability, durability, and safety. Specifically, the study aims to answer the following questions. 1. What is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of 1.1 age, 1.2 educational attainment, 1.3 years of working experience. 2. What is the level of acceptability of ceiling board made of Rysal and Gypsum powder as perceived by the respondents in terms of 2.1 affordability, 2.2 durability, 2.3 safety. And lastly, is there significant difference in the level of acceptability of ceiling board made of Rysal and Gypsum powder in terms of affordability, durability, and safety, as perceived by the respondents when their demographic profile is considered? Hypothesis: there is no significant difference in the level of acceptability of ceiling board made of Rysal and Gypsum powder in terms of affordability, durability, and safety, when the demographic profile of the respondents is being taken into consideration.
Scope and delimitation. The focus of this study is to determine the level of ceiling board made of rice hull and gypsum powder as perceived by the respondents. The study will undertaken in Barangay Gente de Leon and Barangay Paso de Blas, Valenzuela City. The respondents of the study were 30 civil workers composed of carpenter, civil engineer, foreman, and mason. The study will use descriptive and experimental research design. It will utilize statistical tools such as percentage, weighted mean, and chi-square were used to analyze and gather data. The study will also be undertaken during the school year 2021-2022. Furthermore, the study will be conducted during the school year 2020-2021.
Chapter 2. Under Chapter 2, we have methodology. On this chapter, the researcher presents the following: research design, research locale, respondents of the study, instrumentations, samples and sampling techniques, data gathering procedure, and statistical treatment of data.
Research design. The researcher will use experimental and descriptive methods of research in determining the level of acceptability of Rysal and gypsum powder in making a ceiling board. Descriptive design is an approach that covers a variety of research and is all about the responses of respondents regarding these studies. Experimental design, it entails scientific observations with the purpose of testing cause and effect relationship between variables under conditions that are as controlled as possible by the researcher. The researcher conducted survey to gather information. It focused on the citizens in different people in the community of Valenzuela City and were given survey forms that were filled out and answered.
Research local. The study will be conducted in 2 barangays where the respondents of the study work. The respondents were composed of 30 individuals, 15 respondents from Barangay Gente de Leon and 15 respondents from Barangay Paso de Blas to test the product.
The respondents of the study. Researcher of the study used the propulsive random sampling that was conducted with 30 respondents by the means of face-to-face and were distributed in different barangays in Valenzuela City, which were Barangay Gente de Leon, Paso de Blas, and also considered the demographic profile of the respondents contains of the occupation or professions, which is masons, engineers, foremen, and carpenters. They were able to evaluate properly the given sample of product based on their observation.
Sample and sampling technique. The researchers will use purposive random sampling technique to determine the target respondents of 30. The respondents will be chosen by the basic knowledge on the desired information. The term random sample means everyone in a population has an equal chance to be selected. Purposive sampling, also known as judgmental or subjective sampling, gives the researchers a chance to rely on their own judgmental overview to the respondents.
Research instrumentation. Researchers use a face-to-face survey questionnaire as an instrument to gather information about the acceptability of the ceiling board made of rice hull and gypsum powder.
The researchers will use a purposive sampling that may help the researchers to find and locate the suited person for the product and to the right judgment of the product to determine if it is a success and it will be useful in the field of construction. This instrument will help the researchers to determine the affordability, durability, and safety.
Data gathering procedure. A request letter for conducting research was prepared. The researcher constructed a questionnaire confirmed by the professor and distributed the questionnaire. Due to the advantages of the survey method, the researchers will conduct a survey in the following barangays: Barangay Gente de Leon and Barangay Paso de Blas in Valenzuela City of Metro Manila. The researcher will explain to the respondents the importance of their response to the research. The researchers clarified some terminology to the respondents so that the interviewees can answer the questionnaire with a full understanding of their responsibilities as the research object. The researchers will ask the interviewee to answer with an honest attitude. The researcher is sampling purposefully and sampling unit is subjectively selected by the researcher. In this study, the goal of the researchers is to determine the importance of rice hull and gypsum powder in making seeding board. Researchers believe that this method is the most suitable method for selecting research samples. After the respondent answered the questionnaire, the researchers collected and calculated the data for interpretation. The researchers will ask the statistician to help determine the appropriate statistical tools to interpret the data. Based on the data, the researchers will draw the conclusion and recommendation of this study.
Statistical treatment of data. To interpret the data efficiently, the researchers employed the following statistical treatment. These statistical tools are to be used to determine the level of acceptability of sealing board made up of rice hull and gypsum powder. So first is determine the percentage. The use of percentage distribution is to be applied to find the answers to the questionnaires checklist profile. So the formula is percentage equals frequency over total number of respondents multiplied by 100. Next is get the weighted mean. Weighted mean was used to measure the general response of the survey whether the product is acceptable. So the formula is weighted mean equals summation of F all over N, wherein F is the frequency and N is the total number of respondents or the total frequency. Next is the chi-square test. This is to test the significant difference of the level of acceptability of the product by considering the demographic profile of the respondents. The formula is chi-square equals summation of quantity O minus E squared all over E, wherein O is the observed frequency, then E is the expected frequency. Next is compute the degree of freedom. Degree of freedom are the number of independent values that a statistical analysis can estimate. This is used to locate the critical values for an equation using a critical value table, which in turn determines the statistical significance of the result. So the formula is degree of freedom equals number of row minus 1 multiplied by the number of columns minus 1.
Survey questionnaire is a research instrument that consists of sets of questions to collect information from a respondent. The researchers will ask the respondents permission to conduct a survey. The researchers will also guide and will present their product to the respondents in order to help them determine the research product's level of acceptability. The survey questionnaire is divided into 3 parts. The first part of the survey questionnaire is the profile, or profile of the respondents. Under profile, we have name of the respondents, age of the respondents, educational attainment of the respondents, and their occupation. Second part of the survey questionnaire, which includes the level of acceptability. The following are the choices that may correspond to the respondent's opinion. 5. Highly acceptable. 4. Acceptable. 3. moderately acceptable, 2. Least acceptable, 1. Not acceptable. And lastly, the last part of the survey questionnaire, and this part is divided into 3 categories. The first category is the affordability. Question 1 under affordability, the price of the product is also in line with its durability. 2. What was your level of acceptability in our product in terms of pricing? 3. Rice hull with Gypsum powder ceiling board pricing is ideal for its usage. The second category is durability. Question 1 under durability. 1. Ceiling board made of rice hull and gypsum powder can withstand the foreseeable pressure. 2. Overall robustness of ceiling board made of rice hull and gypsum powder. 3. Ceiling board made of rice hull and gypsum powder has a high durability. 4. The product can withstand the hot and cold climates or temperature. And lastly, safety. The rice hull gypsum powder ceiling board is natural and harmless. The rice hull ceiling board is hard to break more than times and retain its original shape. 3. The rice hull ceiling board is suitable for creating a lively and comfortable atmosphere. On behalf of my team, I would like to thank each and every one of you for listening to our video presentation entitled Ceiling Board Made of Rice Hull and Gypsum Powder. The room for recommendation, suggestion, and questions is now open. That will be all. Thank you.